Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9. We're going to talk about the upcoming epic finale. And the question that we posed a little bit earlier is, did Rick and RJ have a radio chat? I know it's been speculated for a while that perhaps Rick could be on the other end of that radio, but we're going to take it a step further because we want to paint a really, really good season finale picture, not one of pikes and death and tragedy and everything else that goes along with it. And there were just a couple scenes that I thought were interesting. Eugene working, there's an electronic device. I don't know if it's connected to a grounding station or whatever that is, but you can see Eugene's been hard at work. And then RJ sitting down, and in the background, we've got that same fixture. So I think it's important that both of them are there, and I just think it would be a touching moment if RJ does get to hear his dad's voice, and then that propels Michonne to go out on this epic journey to try to find Rick. I think that would be a good movie story, even though it is 6 years after Rick's disappearance. So there's a lot that still has to take place and a lot that we haven't been told. But I do think it's eventually going to be told, and Michonne and RJ will be a part of that. And I'd love for RJ to come back. We talked about that early, and it's just everybody was adding on to it and piling in just a little bit more. I do also want to make an announcement. I know I made it on a previous video earlier. We have hit our brand new goal for channel members. So we hit 41 members, which means we unlocked the 999 Superfan. We're getting stories in from a lot of different people. What's so cool is a lot of you guys are nominating people, and I've heard some of the stories about how awesome some of these people are in real life. I don't know everybody in real life, unfortunately, but I'm getting stories sent about, I'm not going to say the names because many of them are in the stream right now, and we're creating a pretty good survey. And then once I get a list compiled, I'm going to put a survey on the 999 Army page and let you guys vote for who is going to be our first Superfan. And we're probably going to have 20, which means 19 people are not going to get it. And I apologize because it probably could be, we could probably have 100 different people easily just jump to the front. But there can only be one for the first month. And rest assured that they'll get a chance to get into the game a little bit later on. But I'm looking forward to some custom emojis. So let me jump around. I want to see, I'm going to get a few comments in this video here. Will the Walking Dead movie be released in movie theaters? It's a good question. I would love for it to be released in movie theaters. I don't think so. I think when they say movie, they're looking probably like a 3-part series. Who knows? You know, there's the new Apple Plus. That would be interesting. I mean, that would probably be a good win for the Apple TV Plus that they just announced yesterday, and that is coming out in the fall. What do you guys think? You guys think big screen TV, Netflix, AMC? AMC. Okay, fair enough. Keep it in-house. All good. We'll keep it in-house. I would love to see it in theaters. Yeah, maybe AMC, but just have like special screenings for people that want to go see it. Or we could probably just all go to William Finney's house. I mean, William's got custom jalapeno margaritas and jalapeno beer and a Walking Dead room. William's probably got about a 500-inch television down in his Walking Dead cave. So we'll just pile in. Coming to Georgia, William. Where you at? So I will throw this question back to the group because it's one of the things that I do get a lot of pushback on. If Michonne does leave and takes RJ, what are your thoughts about Judith? I know you guys know my thoughts. My thoughts is she's got to stay. Any chance she takes her with her? Mish wants her to stay. Dark Stark, stay. What's up, Drama King? Are you guys having trouble getting notifications from YouTube? I'm just wondering. Because I know a lot of people didn't get it and they popped in here just a little bit late. It's okay. Aaron and Daryl take care of Judith and Lydia? Aaron with Gracie and Judith? Or is Judith just going to be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to stay in that condo over there. I got this thing covered. Yeah, if you guys are getting late notifications, I apologize. YouTube does that sometime. I don't want to criticize them because they actually do issue my paycheck. So YouTube does a great job with notifications. People that are listening. Must be your computer or lag on your end. Wink. What's up, Roxanne? Thanks for being here. Bamber Kitty, super chat, and it says, Judith Michonne will have Battle of Wills over it. They certainly would. Unless, well, I can't think of a circumstance where Judith is missing that Michonne would just give up. So that's not going to happen. I know if Judith's captured, Michonne's not going to be like, hey, peace out, Judith. Somebody else go get her. Rick's on the line. I got to go in this direction. So it would certainly have to be Judith putting her foot down and say, I'm not going. Well, see, Deborah Farrell says kids don't have a choice. I would beg to differ a little bit with Judith, though. I'd say in most cases, you're right. I'd say in today's day and age, you're certainly right. In a zombie apocalypse, Judith out there on her own, maybe time that she says, I got to do this on my own, Mom. And that's the part I would push back a little bit is Judith's not your typical kid. And that's just from a show perspective. But from me being a fan perspective, I really want her to stay. So that's why I would love to see it happen. Bamber Kitty says exactly. Judith puts her foot down. I'm just trying to think of a scenario where Michonne would be okay with it. But it would have to be a safe scenario because as long as the Whisperers are around, that ain't going down. She's only 10, even admitted she needed Michonne. Okay, Cammie, I agree. And she was screaming. She was screaming when she was surrounded by the walkers. Darko says she's kind of taken over Carl's story. A little bit. They split it up a little bit. Chris Randick said that's why Michonne needs her to watch over each other's back. So it sounds like we are kind of split on this. So Judith, RJ, Michonne go out to look for their dad. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to fight it a whole lot. It does make more sense for that to happen. There's just that part of me that wants to think of a reason for it not to happen. Like the whole Judith-Negan friendship, or there's somebody that Judith needs to stay back and watch over. Our friends need help. But, in the current state, there's a lot of things that just aren't realistic with that. One, Michonne doesn't trust Negan enough to even consider that. So I get it. Judith would put her foot down, but Michonne is still her mom. So that just doesn't seem realistic. June Smith predicting Michonne won't leave Judith, but I think she disappears while with RJ and Judith is left behind. Yeah, that's the part I'm trying to make work, June. And see, I'm going to need some help. I'm throwing the net out there for the 999 Army. I need all the brain power. We got to piece this together. So hold on one second. Even if you believe that Judith needs to go with Michonne, Let's think of the other perspective. Table that. Give me a scenario to where Judith could be left on the show and Michonne go her separate ways. Judith absolutely refusing. Well, I mean, I guess Michonne could pick her up and, hold her on her shoulder like, I don't care if you refuse. We're going. Cody says, the only way I can envision Judith staying is a long-term plan to bring Rick back with Michonne, which doesn't seem likely. Yeah, it's tough. Terra Mama, maybe Judith hurts herself and can't go. That would probably be more reason to take her. Judith hides, says Ron. Yeah, I mean, those are helping, but one seat left in the helicopter? I agree, Drama. Rick would want his whole family. That's why I think the more I say it out loud, the more, unfortunately, I don't think she'll be left on the show. Noah Lanham says, do you think RJ would be the only one who hears Rick's voice or the whole group? Because I need Daryl to hear him. Well, we played it out a couple different ways. And I could see it going down. Maybe everybody's asleep. And, RJ just happens to be up. And just hears a little bit of chatter on the radio. So that's a possibility. I would rather it play out a little bit more differently, though. I would rather it play out where they're messing with the radio and they hear Rick and Michonne hears him. She starts crying. Negan hears a voice and he responds to it. And, they say something like, RJ, that's your father. And then maybe it ends in some real cryptic type of thing, like they're trying to figure out where he is. And they get mixed messages, or they get, maybe he's just in a bad situation. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfectly happy for me to be okay with it. Like, I'll give you an example. So, when Andrew decided to leave the show, and we put our predictions out there, and we said, Rick's going to be taken away by the helicopter. We were on top of that one. I think pretty well called on the 999 Army's part. Good job, everybody. And then some people came back and said, no, Rick has to die. Recasting him would be bad. Him leaving would be bad. The only scenario is he's dead. And our argument, those that really wanted Rick, was no. He needs to be a permanent part of the Walking Dead universe. And I think that was just enough happiness to know he's out there. So, to transition the show, I don't know that it needs to be the happiest of situations. Like, we could hear his voice, and then maybe find out like something dark or chilling is going on with him. So, let's just throw that out there as a theory, a possible prediction. Maybe Rick's changed. Maybe Rick, has a patch like Carl now. Maybe he's leading the evil empire. I don't know. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But what's a scenario that you think could start out good, but leave the season on a very ominous type of note? Like, well, that was weird because we thought it was going to be happy, but now we realize Rick's in some trouble. Or that, I want to hear kind of your predictions with that, or a situation. Maybe Rick's using a cane to walk. He could. Ooh, I like that, Cammy. Maybe he doesn't remember that. That would be sad, right? Ooh, Cammy, you just creeped me out a little bit. That's too much. That's too much. That was like the opposite of my happy moment. They hear Rick's voice, and Michonne's like, RJ, that's your dad. And then she grabs the radio like, Rick, this is Michonne. And he's like, who? Oh, I don't like it. Thank you for that super chat, but I'm going to bypass it. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. and it disappears into the darkness. June Smith, I believe he'll be different, but give me the radio, I'll go find him. You know, yeah, maybe that would be Rick's. Maybe that'd be Rick's comeback. It would. See, Cammy's like they don't remember him. Rick, this is Michonne. Who? I'm here with June Smith. That's like, there you go, June. Your perfect scenario. Rick has moved on past Michonne, and June Smith has taken over. Will Rick look old like Carl's vision? I think so. I mean, Rick was already getting a little gray, and it has been 6 years, so certainly. They're going to let his age play out, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can't imagine, we get a movie and we get Rick 6 years later, and he's got some Grecian formula or something. Doctors did a good job with you. Temporary paralyzed. 6 years later? No, I don't. I mean, I appreciate the theory. I just don't think that's going to be a real epic Rick Grimes movie. We're used to seeing Rick and his livelihood and moving around and doing things and fighting. If Rick doesn't have all those abilities, I think it would take away from the story. Now, trauma and some memory loss and being told everybody was dead and moving on, that's something I could probably get around a little bit. I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to my happy place, though. I think my happy place was just a little more of an ending on a positive note. What'd I get myself into? I asked you guys to come up with some dark theories, and then Cammie, right out of the gate, she goes, nope, he has amnesia, memory loss, doesn't remember any of them, just kind of, yeah. All right, let's try this again. Not quite as drastic this time. Let's think of a different scenario where communications get cut off. The radio gets destroyed. Negan picks up Lucille and crushes the radio. You guys ain't leaving me. That's the way he keeps Judith there. I could see that. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but couldn't you see clumsy Eugene? Or somebody sitting down, they got the radio on the table, and then everybody's happy, and Eugene stands up really quick and knocks the radio off right before they get his coordinates. Here's Rick dialing in. Michonne? Judith? Where are you, Rick? Well, I'm at latitude 35.2. And then the radio crushes. Where is he? We only got half the coordinates. The other half of the world, we have no idea where he is. Well, I would kindly appreciate if you would not blame the messenger. I used my utmost intellect in order to assemble said radio, and I certainly have a right to destroy it. Clumsy Eugene, Greg LeBeau, could Rick be using a radio without permission? Hey, you back in a cell, get off the radio. Maybe. Rick's a prisoner? And, hey, okay, I like that, Greg. Let me think about that for a second. Maybe he's trying to send a message, and then in the background he gets taken back. Okay, it's a possibility. Lakeisha, if Rick hears RJ's voice, he will go crazy to get back to his family, kills everyone. Well, he's never seen RJ. And we've never really heard RJ talk that much. The only thing RJ's really said, I think, at this point is, Mama, I'm hungry, or something like that. Yet, RJ's had very little lines. Whatever they're paying RJ, if he gets paid by the line, he's a high-paid actor. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Haley Lucas. Appreciate that super chat. I mean, Rick doesn't know. I mean, I don't know if it was ever confirmed that she was pregnant. I think it was hinted at between the two of them, so he had an idea, but I don't think it was like she was far enough along. Yeah, can I have more tomatoes, Mama? That's RJ. Yeah, he's only had like 2 lines. I mean, at this point, it has to play out this way. I mean, not exactly what we're saying, but there has to be some radio communication. Sheila Matt kills. Please tell June Smith, thanks for being awesome and the 999 Army. Thank you for all the support and prayers they sent me. Love this 999 Army kills. Thank you, Sheila, and absolutely. We're gonna take care of ours. And we know sometimes things go on outside of the Army, and we have real life situations and real life family and things that we take care of on our own. But this group is just amazingly, amazingly supportive. I'm gonna not trying to break the Rick Grimes mode, but those people that are new to our group, it goes beyond The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead kind of brings us all here. Ashley Miller, maybe Michonne will run into the people from Fear, Morgan and Company, on her journey to find Rick. I just wonder. Well, yeah. I mean, once again, Ashley, we're dealing with so many time skips. I try not to think about Fear, The Walking Dead, and the movie, because at this moment, it's like a bad episode of Back to the Future. I mean, by my best guess, unless they show us something additional, Fear is about 4 years behind The Walking Dead. Maybe 5 years. And the movie, we think the movie will happen before the time skip. So Michonne is just barely pregnant. I don't know. But now we're going to be managing 3 different time frames. It's going to be tough. Jump around and get a couple more comments in here. What's up, Ray Beard? You're late, man. Ray, you're 23 minutes late. So, 23 push-ups be good. Ollie Smith, perhaps the last scene is the radio cracking and Rick's voice is heard, but no one is listening. Fade to black. Yeah, that's becoming a little bit more popular. Someone did mention that earlier. I think it would be an interesting cliffhanger. So let me phrase it this way. And once again, for audience participation, I need you to respect the story, not what you may or may not want to happen. So for the story standpoint, would it be better if, and think about, if you want people to come back and watch next season, if you want to sell some tickets, if you're trying to build up some audience hype, better if the group hears Rick and it's a really feel-good feeling, or better if you barely hear Rick and you're not sure if the radio is going to last, and then it fades off and you're not sure if anybody's ever going to hear from him again? What do you think is a better story? I actually think that's a better story, the second one, to be honest. and just let us wonder about it until season 10. Julia Mewes like, I want everyone to know. Okay, but Julia, see, you just broke the first part of that. It wasn't really about what you want. It's about what is best for the story. Yeah, I think the fading out would be, you're fine. I think the fading out would be good. I mean, if I was writing it, I would certainly, Ollie, I would write it that way. Or Newfield 12 says, instead of RJ hearing it, Judith hears the voice, says Dad. Yeah, suspense is not always bad. I mean, you know, we said at the end of season 6, I thought the cliffhanger was amazing. Because there were just so many theories and so many possibilities, so much fun stuff to talk about. We were looking at trees and angles and shadows and listening to voices. But the suspense killed a lot of people. But I think with the spoilers being out, the truth is, it's only going to take 2 months probably to find out what really happened. I mean, can we not wait 2 months? It'll be out there. GW Painter says, someone hears Rick, Michonne will not stay around to film in season 10. She'll be in some episodes. See, I think even if Denied doesn't sign a contract, I got a feeling she would sign an episode-to-episode type of deal to have her leave the show in a perfect situation, unlike others who have left it in a not-so-perfect situation. And then I think they would just give her a movie contract. I mean, that's my feeling. I could be wrong. I mean, she's going to make a ton of money off Black Panther, but and whatever else she wants to do, she's phenomenal. Probably with Michonne at this point, I don't think The Walking Dead is about money. Fluff Salisbury, what if Judith hears Rick's voice on the radio and doesn't recognize it? She said she was starting to forget what he sounded like. You know, Fluff, you didn't mean to do this, but you actually just did it. That is exactly the hidden clue that I needed to make this all work. That's exactly what I needed to do to make this all work. I think that is an Easter egg. You're right, Julia. I think that makes it a more perfect moment. Because Judith didn't forget what the voice sounded like after all. And when we heard her first say that, it was very moving and chilling, right? You know, she's forgetting her dad. She's forgetting Carl. And then if she hears Rick, I think that'll be a very touching moment. And they planted that so far in advance. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. So kind of a super chat that helped, but kind of helped in a different way. June Smith, wouldn't it be awesome if Alpha heard his voice and Rick say, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I'm going to kill you. June, you know, when you said that, I was kind of visualizing, you know, Alpha kind of busting in to the cabin while the radio's on and a conversation going back and forth. How would that sound like? I could probably plan it out a little bit. This is Rick Grimes. This is Alpha, and there will be conflict. With all due respect, I would like to be the intermediary here and break up a potential hostile situation. Eugene, put Alpha back on. Not today, not tomorrow. But I'm going to kill it. Yeah, something like that. That would be a nice little skit, nice little short thing, right? Alpha and Rick. Rick's not back on the show, but we could still have some conflict. Yeah, we'll play it out somehow. Thank you for that, June. I could see an epic. And then Rick would have to get in like, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? That's like my favorite Rick Grimes line. Darko77. Judith, while hearing Rick's voice, is hugging Negan. How ironic. Oh. Maybe. Maybe not. Negan's not taking over the daddy role. Negan is going to be, I think, a friend and a partner. I certainly, I don't think the writers will attempt to replace Rick with Negan. I think she just sees him as a human. She sees him as a friend. She sees him as somebody that will listen to her. He probably sees her as that fatherly figure. But yeah, Uncle Negan, yeah, I like that. Uncle Negan is probably much, much better, Derek. It's wild how, understand Alpha's crazy, but it is. I mean, it ain't going to play out like that, but it's still fun to put it in that scenario and have all the characters stay true to form. Yeah, I mean, with the radio broadcasting, I'm not saying the Morgan thing is not a possibility. I know a lot of people are really on board with that. A lot of you guys are. You know, how many people are listening in with this? I mean, in theory, Maggie's group could be listening in too, if she's out there in the Walking Dead universe. I'm just burnt out with it because I got so hyped up this morning with Maggie. But Maggie and Georgie, you know, Rick and his group, Morgan, I mean, they could all join forces. And I'm not totally opposed to Morgan and John and Alicia still being around. In fact, I would probably like it. It's just I think the more shows, the more we play with time, the more confusing it's going to be. Just do one and sort of leave it. Why it seems like Beta cares more about Lydia than Alpha does? It's a good question. Alpha just shows her emotions in a different way. I mean, she's always been cruel to her. You know, even when she said, Lydia was in the closet, and I saw the plastic wrapped around her face, and she was turning purple. And finally, when she got a little bit of air, I beat that child. Why did you ever get in that situation in the first place? I mean, she's just a twisted, crazy person. Sorry. That was my Alpha. I'll take the Oscar now, if you guys want to hand it out. I do a better Alpha than Alpha. I don't know why. Sorry, I'm just messing around. Haley Lucas, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. We got SJW Gamer. Would love to see Negan and Michonne versus Alpha and Beta. Then, as they're fighting, Daryl arrives, and Heath reveals himself to be a whisperer. That's a lot of stuff going on. Hold on a second. Let me think about this. You got like a tag team match going on, and then Heath is a bad guy. No, Heath, that has been confirmed by multiple people that Heath has been sent to the same group that took Rick. I'm not. Yeah, the little bug thing does creep me out too. Come here, stupid little bug. No, I don't like her. Thank you, Khaleesi. I would. I'd first like to thank Samantha Morton for making this day possible. Does Negan get? We'll go a little bit off topic, and then we got some things to talk about tonight. Does Negan get Lucille back and break it over Beta's back? Isn't that what happens in the comics? Is that a comic spoiler? I've not read it, so. Yeah, Ephraim, that's not going to show up in this video, but I get it. YouTube's not a fan of that comment. So that'd be sad, like Negan got Lucille back and I'm ready to use this thing, and then the first time he goes out to use it, that'd be like getting a new car and driving it home and then wrecking the car. I mean, Negan gets Lucille back after all these years, all this time, and then the first time he goes to hit somebody with it, it breaks. All right, so I'm going to, this is not going to be a super long stream because we got another one at 9:30. And we're going to talk about some potential deaths. I don't think people are out of the woodwork. So I saw an article today, and I'm going to kind of set you guys up for the next stream. And the article said the reason Angela Kang did not kill Ezekiel and Rosita in the Pike scene is because she's heard fans for the longest time talk about and respond to them and say, are you ready for the Pike scene? Are you ready for the Pike scene? Over and over and over again. And she decided it would not be in the best interest to kill the two of them in the Pike scene. So my question is, because she decided to spare them in the Pike scene, are they still on the radar to die? Does that mean they carry them over into season 10? And here's why I want to throw this out there, and I want to get you guys thinking about it before 9:30. You're a business owner, and you got to pay people, and you got to sign people. And the Walking, AMC has money. But there's a difference between having money and spending money unnecessarily. So truth be told, if you kill a couple people at the end of season 9, you don't have to pay them to come back in season 10. Could Rosita be a prime candidate? Maybe Ezekiel comes back, but doesn't that make you just a little bit worried that Rosita didn't get the Pike death? She is pregnant on the show, and we're not through with the season yet. I'm worried. I'm worried about Rosita, and I'm worried about the story, and I'm worried about this love rhombus that she has, with the other three. Just something to think about. Yes, and you're right, Jim09. Anyone can die. And with that being said, at 9:30, we're going to talk about people that potentially could die in this week's episode. It's not a spoiler, but we do need to get it out there and start to have the conversation, because tomorrow we're going to do complete episode bold predictions, and the spoilers could come out as early as tomorrow. More than likely, they'll come out on Thursday. But I think it's important that we do a non-spoiler death prediction, and we'll do that at 9:30 to kind of get all the ideas out there so we can see, hey, maybe we're going to nail one of these things down. I know the pushback's going to be there's been a lot of death already, but The Walking Dead, when they make things happen, they can get on a roll sometimes. So everybody join us at 9:30 tonight. This has been the Did Rick and RJ Have the Radio Chat? I appreciate your insight, your thoughts. I know it's an out there prediction. The Rick radio is probably, it's a good possibility, but how that plays out and how we see it on screen and if there's any danger to that, certainly we're going to be looking all week long for any spoilers that's going to shine a little bit of light on that. So I'm going to ask everybody here, do me a favor and hike the like button, I guess is what we're going with right now, because they're hiking. They're out in the snow. We've got Blizzard the like button. I still want to Lucille the like button. So many options there, but you guys know what to do. Hit that thing and then be back here at 9:30. We got some good stuff to talk about. I will one big shout out to everybody. All the Army, thank you. You guys have been here from the rant this morning, all the way through all the videos that we've done. It's been an action-packed 3 or 4 days. We had a free Negan video, some shocking twists. There's some real good predictions that we did at 5 o'clock, and then the Rick's radio I think is going to catch a little bit of traction. And now we're going to move on to some death scenes. I'll see you all in about 45 minutes. Peace.